Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So you're probably wondering, where am I? I am in my closet because good lighting and it's getting really dark outside. 5 o'clock, you know it gets dark like early at 5. But anyway, you're probably wondering, you got scammed? Well, I kind of got scammed, but not really. So I was looking for a sugar daddy on Twitter, and you're probably like, really? A sugar daddy? Like, shoot, don't judge me. Sometimes you just want a little sugar, not really sugar, but just the money. But whatever. So what happened was, I just on Twitter, and I was just playing around trying to look for a sugar daddy, not really knowing if I was gonna find one. And so then one message me, like, he wasn't really a sugar daddy, he was just a fake. But yeah, so he was like, hey, I was like, hey, and I was like, what are you willing to pay me? Then he told me like 200 weekly allowance, and I was like, okay, here's my PayPal. And so he's like, oh, I don't have PayPal, I used it before but it didn't work out. And so then I'm like, okay. And he was like, if you send me your bank account number and your routing number, then I can send you some money. And then I was like, I don't like giving out my bank info. And so he was like, come on, you don't trust me? Come on. I'm like, no, really. And then so at first I was not gonna do that, but then he gave me, a couple of days, and I messaged him, he messaged me, and so then I was like, okay. And then I gave him my number, and we was texting, and he was like, hey, no, at first I was like, hey, is this Refalio, or however you say his name, the name he was using. And so he was like, yeah. Who is this? And I said, this is Alasia underscore on Twitter. And he was like, hey, blah blah blah. And so then I was like, well, if you're trying to be my sugar daddy, I'm not gonna be sending news, no nothing. And he was like, oh, I'm too mature for all of that. And then I'm like, okay. And so then we were just talking and stuff, and then he was like, I don't want no news, I just want your attention, that's it. I'm like, okay. And so then a couple of days we was talking, blah. And then I was like, so what do I need to send you so you can send me some money? And he was like, what he said before on Twitter. And I was like, but then I ignored it. And then I was like, maybe if I send him things that I want online, he will get them for me. So I sent him some stuff, like, the website links. And he was like, those are so pretty, babe. And I was like, can you not call me babe? No disrespect. And he was like, what would you like me to call you? And I said, you can call me honey or something or whatever. And then he was like, okay. And so then a couple of days went by, and I gave him my bank account number and routing number. And so then he was asking me what bank was mine, because there's more than one name, more than more baked with that name. And then I said this one. He was like, okay. And then he sent me, no, I was waiting for the money to get in there, but it was taking a long time, because at first he said he was gonna give me $200 weekly allowance, and then he said that his account holder is going to send me the money, because he like have employees that he send money to, whatever. And so then he said my account holder made a mistake and sent $12,000. And I was like, okay, that's fine with me. I didn't say it, but I was like, oh, okay. And so then he was like, it's gonna be on your account whenever. And I was waiting and telling him it's not in there, I don't see it, because I have an app on my phone to look in my account. And so then he was like, oh, I don't know why it's not in there. And I was just waiting. I was like, come on now. I was thinking it was gonna go through like that, but it didn't. So then a couple of days went by, and so I called my bank to find out if I put the right routing number, and she told me, and it was the right one. And so then when I went down there, my grandma took me down there to the bank, and so she said I had a package there, so that's why I went down to the bank. And so it was like a FedEx package. It was like a skinny one, and it had like the check in there, but it didn't look like a regular check. It was like a paper, and the check was on the bottom. And so then the lady called the bank, and the bank that was on the check, and then the person on the phone was like, this is not a good check. And the lady said, it's not a good check. And then the other lady in the back was like, are you sure this is your friend? And I was like, no, it's not my friend. And then they was like, you gotta be careful, there's a lot of scammers online. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I know and stuff. And so then I left. I took the check, and then the lady came outside, and she said, can we hold on to that for, warnings or whatever? And I was like, yeah. And then so I went back home, because my family found out, because my grandma had to take me down there anyway. So, and my dad was like, why would you do that? Come on, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. But it's whatever. Like, he didn't take no money out of my account, because he didn't have like my password for it. He just had the routing number, but I guess he don't really need no password. But because he was probably like thinking the money was gonna go into my account, and he was gonna draft all of it. That's what all the scammers, sugar daddies on Twitter are trying to do. Like, if they're gonna ask you for your routing number and account number, don't give them to them. Don't do that. Like, if you don't have PayPal or Cash App or some other type of app for cash, do not ask me for nothing. Like, come on, just send me the money. Like, stop being difficult. Like, that's all I wanted, just some money, like something. But, and then, yeah, my family was like, you shouldn't have done that, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, I know. And so then I texted the scammer. I texted him, I said that said that's not a good check, and I don't know what you're doing, but it's not cool. And then at first he was like, oh, that's strange. Yeah. I bet it is strange. And I'll be having receipts at the end of this video, or in the video when I'm talking about it. And so, yeah, and he didn't text me back no more after I said that. So, yeah. So if you're trying to find a sugar daddy, I don't know where you're gonna look because it's hard. I was trying to look for on all these other websites, and you're probably like, why would you look for a sugar daddy? Just go get your own money. Like, I'm doing it. I'm trying. So, get off my case. Like, people done worse things than me, okay? Don't try me. Anyway. But yeah. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell for notification when I post. And see you later.